Finally, we have our first proper look at Modern Warfare 3 gameplay, and the graphics are nuts. This was shown at Gamescom, apparently running on a PlayStation 5 in 4K. We also got to see a couple of snippets of the new Warzone map too, which is super interesting. We'll dive into that, as well as a look at open combat missions in the campaign, allowing the player the choice in single player of how to complete objectives based off their preferred play styles. This sounds a bit different for the franchise. So the gameplay we're seeing here is from the very first single player level from the campaign of Modern Warfare 3 set in Verdansk, and it's called Operation 627. This is obviously a reference to Prisoner 627 from the original 2009 Modern Warfare 2 campaign, where you go to the Gulag with Soap and rescue Captain Price. So it might be a similar thing happening here. Perhaps you are rescuing Captain Price here, or maybe even in a dark twist breaking Makarov out of there, knowingly or unknowingly, the main antagonist of the game. And it was revealed that we're playing as an undisclosed elite PMC fire team here, rather than Task Force 141, and I think that that's important. Also, I have to wonder if those personal rappels will be available in Warzone soon. Imagine being able to have a one-time use rappel that could get you to the top of any building. So this game is being developed by Sledgehammer Games in partnership with Infinity Ward, and the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 campaign is a direct sequel to the events of Modern Warfare 2. The campaign is said to feature a seamless integration of missions built around Call of Duty's signature cinematic moments that have defined 2 decades of the franchise's action-packed, narrative-driven single-player experiences, and they've got these brand new open combat missions designed to give the player freedom to approach the action in a variety of different ways, and we'll take a look at these open combat missions in more depth too. So just as a heads up, like they did last year with MW2, the full campaign will be available up to 1 week prior to the game's official launch on November the 10th. If you pre-order the game, you'll have access to it a week early. Obviously, that's your choice. I'll definitely be streaming the campaign when it's available, as I am quite interested in this darker, grittier looking story and tone they appear to be putting forward. Now, as I mentioned, this was confirmed by Call of Duty to be set in Verdansk, and they said while familiar, Verdansk will be seen from a new perspective in Modern Warfare 3's campaign. In the year 2023, a new threat completely locked down this capital of Kastovia. And there are other videos too that show more areas of Verdansk, like the dam and downtown. Now, this might be a bit confusing if you played Warzone 1, because Verdansk got nuked at the end. The reason for that was to stop the zombie outbreak. It kind of got crazy with the story and everything, but there was a cutscene with the missile going and then the nuke. It definitely got nuked, and everyone presumed that that was the canon ending of that map, but perhaps it wasn't real and it was in the head of the protagonist of Cold War. That's a potential theory, or COD are just ignoring what happened there and they're carrying on as if it was never nuked, because it doesn't really matter, and we know that this game is set in modern day 2023. The point is, there's multiple locations from that map in the single player. I think that this is part for the nostalgia element, but also as a way to recycle the assets used to build that map into a single player campaign. Of course, we'll be going to other places in the new campaign too, including London, Siberia, the Middle East, and St. Petersburg. So the team have now successfully breached into the Gulag, and they're still in stealth mode right now. They've not been discovered yet, but I want you to pay attention to a few things here. First off, the lighting. Look at this. This looks absolutely incredible. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 from a graphics perspective already looked good, but I don't know, perhaps they've improved the lighting here, because look how that orange light is actually seeping onto the weapon sight there. Just looks fantastic. I know that they confirmed yesterday this game will have NVIDIA DLSS 3 too, which is cool to see NVIDIA as a partner again for the new Call of Duty title. Maybe it'll have frame generation as well, so your frame rates are just going to be insane if you've got that tech. And also, look at the gun here. There appears to be far less visual recoil on the guns than there were in Modern Warfare 2, and also way less smoke puffs when the gun is being fired in fully automatic. So maybe this will carry across to the multiplayer too, and the visibility will be a lot better when you're tracking targets, because I think that's one of the biggest problems with MW2 in multiplayer. It's the visual noise when you're trying to track targets. It can get quite difficult at times. Now we're going to take a quick look here at what might be the new Warzone map. So these clips here are from single player, and they posted these with the context of you're doing this open world combat mission, and this is basically a way for the developers to make open levels for the single player or even in co-op, because it did look like there was someone else in one of those other clips where you can play them in lots of different ways and there's replayability. So in this clip, obviously one of your objectives is to take out that helicopter, and they've gone for the loud approach. They put C4 on the quad bike, it's classic C4 quad. But in this other clip, they're attacking from the sky, jumping out of a plane, and there is what looks like another player. So maybe, fingers crossed, the entire campaign is playable in co-op. Wouldn't that be cool? And this is where I think we see the new Warzone map, because why would they build this just for a single player level? And the great thing about this is that it kind of looks like Verdansk, doesn't it? In a lot of ways, you've got lots of foliage, green, brown. It's not desert like Al Mazrah is. The color palette in general seems more like Warzone 1, perhaps with a bit more vibrance and contrast, which isn't a bad thing. The style of those buildings over there too, they've got a very Warzone 1 vibe about them. Some of them even look very similar to areas in Factory, for example. So even though we're not getting that map back, what we are getting doesn't look like Las Almas anymore, which was the original rumor. This looks like a brand new map, and it's got the same vibe as Warzone 1, which I'm pretty stoked for, to be honest. Let's call it a spiritual successor in a lot of regards. They did show some other clips too on social media of single player. This is the ledge grab mechanic. I don't know where this is set. Middle East maybe. Looks like a stealth mission. And the Uzi is back, although they've called it the WSP9, and that thermal sight is from Modern Warfare 2. We know they've got this carrier cross system where you can use all the guns in MW2 in MW3, and if the attachments are compatible and you've unlocked them, you can put them on MW3 guns, which is pretty neat. Kind of looks like a solo mission, this, doesn't it? Sneaky beaky minimap there too with a lot of information on it. This next clip is over at the dam. You'll recognize this definitely. Nighttime, of course. The only time we played this map at nighttime, I think, was during the zombies event. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is definitely a loud approach to the mission. Going in there with the underbarrel grenade launcher, looking good. And then we've got this too, and even louder. Throws the gas canister, and here we see the ready shooting or point shooting. It's in between ADS and hipfire, blowing it up mid-air. Bit of clay pigeon shooting there, and then boom, everything gets a bit crazy. Looks like they've called in a mortar strike, actually, if you pay attention to the background. So maybe you can get kill streaks in single player now. Hold up, wait a minute, hot off the press. So I was just about to render and upload this video to YouTube when Call of Duty released a new video and blog with information about these open combat missions, and there's a ton more in here now, so we can see more of what they look like, and it sounds kind of cool, to be honest. It's kind of like Far Cry-esque, where throughout the campaign there will be several open world missions where you can go in and choose a different variety of tactics. You want to use vehicles, do you want to be stealth, do you want to use knife only, do you want to use kill streaks? Yes, kill streaks are confirmed now. Do you want to test yourself and speed run? They mentioned speed runs, so maybe you can set a timer and there's records, leaderboards, that kind of thing. Maybe you just want to stick in the water and be a water baby instead. Lots of different ways to play these open world levels, it seems, so there might be a bit more replayability here than we originally thought. Bit more information for you about what's coming up next for COD as well as we continue watching the single player walkthrough. So they're doing a big event called COD Next on October the 5th. So they did this last year for MW2 and Warzone 2, where they invite a lot of content creators out and they get to stream the game and show off the new stuff. This year they're doing a similar thing by the sounds of it on October the 5th, and it says that with the help of Call of Duty developers and community representatives, Call of Duty Next is the premier showcase for Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. I look forward to what's coming to Call of Duty Warzone, as well as a live stream where updates from Call of Duty's mobile experiences will be shared. So on the 5th, we're going to get a proper look at Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer gameplay by the sounds of it. It did say a look forward with what's coming to COD Warzone, so I don't know if Warzone is going to be playable based on that. They might just talk about it and show the new map or something. And also the COD Mobile stuff. I don't really follow COD Mobile, but it is massive. I'll definitely be following Warzone Mobile though, because I think that's going to be huge, and I'm sure that they're going to share more about that at the event. And the final bit of information they released was regarding the beta, when you guys can actually get hands-on with this and play it for yourselves. So October the 6th is going to be weekend 1, and that's the PlayStation exclusive beta. So on PS4 and PS5 on the 6th, you can play the game. I think if you pre-order it, you get a day early, and then if you don't, it's open beta for the rest of that weekend. And then weekend 2 is the crossplay beta, where they open it up to all platforms, and that begins on Thursday, October the 12th, and ends on the 16th. And they said it's going to have a selection of maps in it, so there might actually be quite a bit of content in the beta. Again, probably be streaming or making videos on that when it's out. And that's about everything new, all the news that I've got for you today. Do let me know your thoughts on this gameplay down in the comments below. And also, now you know a bit more about MW3 and how they're changing the multiplayer, making it a bit more classic COD. Does that change your opinion on it? Are you going to play this one, avoid it? How you feeling? Let me know. Drop me a like, guys. Thank you. That's a great way to help support me. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.